you can still be friends with your ex. Before you come for me, let me explain myself. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Back with another video. I am not playing with these back to back. I told you guys that before classes start, I'm gonna try to get out with a few videos. So I'm recording a couple, but I'm gonna try to stay consistent this semester and make sure y'all get to see my face a little bit more. So today's video, I decided to base this off the trend I've been seeing on YouTube called unpopular opinions. And while I feel like some people like to have unpopular opinions just to be popular, see what I did there? I actually decided to do this too, but this is actually things I've been thinking about for a while now, and just things I've always thought about with my friends and never really voiced it. But this is the relationship edition, and based on what I've seen in other people, I decided to do this relationship edition for you guys. And without further ado, let's just get straight into this video. Oh yeah, and please feel free to comment if you disagree, if you don't disagree, and how all that is for you, if you feel like you've experienced this with your friends or in your own relationship. So let's get into it. So the first one, your soulmate is probably someone you're not gonna marry. Like, you're probably not gonna marry your soulmate. And what I mean by this is, first of all, I feel like we're very limited in our exposure. Your soulmate could probably be someone who's not in your ethnicity, someone who is not in your race, but because of preferences and, you know, social media and how people kind of like portray who you should be with and what kind of man you should be with. Like, people always bash interracial dating. That's been a thing. Even though now I see more people dating, you know, outside of their race, it's always been a thing. And just those kind of stigmas definitely hold people back from meeting someone who could actually be a perfect match for them, just because they weren't raised in the same, you know, kind of culture that they had. It could be someone in a different country a country you've never even heard of before. There's so many countries that I haven't even heard about, but they do exist. And I'm talking about even in Africa. You might not meet your perfect soulmate because of how we limit ourselves. Also, just with the way time construct is, people start feeling pressured to get married by 25, 26. And so usually what happens is when your friends start getting invitations and you're starting to get invitations from your friends for weddings, baby showers, all that, you just end up probably like thinking, I can probably just make it work with Joe, and that's the guy you're dating at the time, and just try to make it work just because you feel like pressure to do so. And that might not actually be your soulmate, and you might never actually meet your soulmate. But I do believe that everyone has a soulmate that exists. They just might never ever meet them, which is really unfortunate and kind of depressing. I believe you can make a relationship work with anyone. What I mean by this is any guy, any girl can make a relationship work based on situations. You see, like, this is such a stupid example, but Hunger Games, like, whenever, I don't even know what their names were, but when they were stuck together, they might not have ever, Katniss, Everdeen, and Peeta might not have ever talked to each other if they were just in high school chilling. But because they were both stuck in a situation where, you know, it's fight or flight, they got really attached. That's the same face they saw every day. There was really nobody else around them after a while. And they were just in a situation where they survived major obstacles together. So what I think is, if you're in a situation with someone and it's life or death, you're gonna start falling in love with that person. Like, just imagine you and a different guy stuck in an elevator for maybe 12 hours. You'd probably start liking each other. That's just because you're going through a traumatic situation together. And it doesn't even have to be that extreme, but just in general, I feel like you can make a relationship work with anyone if both of you guys were able to accomplish, you know, the tasks you set out for yourselves. You guys were able to make things work. You would obviously start falling in love with each other, because a lot of people rely on security for love. And so if you're in a relationship where you guys feel like you're surviving together, you're secure, and everything's going great, you're probably gonna start loving them just because it's good, all is going pretty great. And a lot of times in the relationships people have, they don't get to a stage where they're in a drastic situation or something very extreme happens until later down the road, and then they realize, oh wait, I can't make this work, and then they get divorced because everything was going great while they were courting or dating or whatever it was. But yes, you can make a relationship work with anyone. It is definitely okay to have things that you won't compromise on. And for some people, it could be as little as,
I don't want to be with someone if they don't value dressing nicely.
Boy, if you don't get...
I've seen that happen a lot, and it can seem shallow, but for some people appearance means a lot. And if they're with someone who doesn't hold that as, you know, strongly as they do, there can be a lot of conflicts that can lead to bigger issues and bigger fights, which I don't know, like, to me, I feel like that is a little bit dumb, but it truly is something. There are so many guys out there and there's so many girls out there that if it is really something that you and this other person can't figure out, I think it's okay to, you know, dump them over that. But compromise definitely is a big deal in a relationship, but there are some times where some things just shouldn't be compromised. Another one for me, I think, is politics. I feel like if your political views are very different, that can definitely affect your lifestyle, and you don't want to be clashing over political views or different daily things or just stuff like that, especially since there's so much going on in the world. And if you feel like you can't talk about that thing with that person, it is, I guess, okay to find a new spouse. A lot of people kind of put the pressure on compromising. And if you force yourself to make a relationship work, there's probably a good chance that it's not gonna work. Good chance that you guys might not end up staying together. And there's just probably the chance that, like, you just will go crazy. It just will be toxic. So it's okay to have that one thing that you won't compromise on. And for me, I guess that would be like my faith, because I'm really big on having a relationship with God, and God comes before any other relationship I have with anyone. So if someone tells me that they don't want to talk about that, they don't want to go to church, then I could say, okay, sorry, like, you're cool and we vibe, but if it can't happen, it can't happen. Relationships from kindergarten do not count, and I'm sorry. Like, what I mean is, if you had someone you talked to in middle school, elementary school, kindergarten, all that, don't come up here talking about, oh, you're my ex. Like, it just doesn't count. You guys were both like 10. You didn't know what you're talking about. You're probably basing your relationship off Disney Channel, which is a problem within itself, but we're not even gonna go there. And just most likely, you just weren't mature enough to really know who you were, and you're probably just, you know, kind of basing it off what you think a relationship should be, and that's not really healthy. So maybe high school, I can see a lot of people get married to their high school sweethearts. And if you're that one in a million who married your elementary/middle school sweetheart, that's great. But in reality, you're still growing as a person. You can still be friends with your ex. Before you come for me, let me explain myself. So what I mean is, if you dated someone in high school, I feel like, and you guys weren't really sure if it would work, and you kind of tested it and it didn't work, I don't think you should just automatically delete their number just because. If there was someone you vibed with and you were cool with and you just decided, hey, let's give it a try, I think you can still be friends with that person. And I just mean in a mature way where, like, you don't have to drastically block them on all socials and everything. Like, if you guys can still connect and talk over bond over things, then why not? Just as long as you know for sure that you don't have feelings for them, it's a mutual agreement, then I guess that's okay. I've seen people break up in high school but still end up going to prom like a year or two later together because they were cool like that. And I think it takes really mature people to have that kind of relationship, but I don't think it's like a taboo to still be friends with your ex, if that makes sense.
No.
So time means nothing when it comes to love. I think I'm gonna take it back to what I was talking about, like how people try to get married super fast whenever they hit that 25, 26. And I think it's because, you know, all the pressure and all that exists. But what I mean by time means nothing, you can be with someone for like 3 or 4 years and everything can be going great, and immediately something bad happens, you really start to see like the person that they truly are, because sometimes situations bring out, you know, the worst or the best in people, and it might take a while before you hit those certain situations. So what I have to say about that is, don't really like look at a relationship like, oh, that person's gonna get married because they've been together for 2 years, because sometimes that might not be the case. And if that happens, just mind your business. Like, don't question it. Stop shipping couples when you don't really know what's going on within the relationship. And also for you, if you're talking to someone for a couple of months and you really feel like it's the best relationship you've ever been in, because sometimes, you know, at first the puppy love and all that can really, like, it can be kind of like a false perception of what your relationship really is. But as time goes on, you can really tell like how you feel about that person. Love really knows no time. Don't rule out relationships because you were with your ex for like 3+ years, because you never know what you'll find in just a limited amount of time. 7. Online dating is better than regular dating. And before you come for me, I'm not talking about the random guys hookups on Tinder and all that. I'm talking about the relationships where like you actually like get to know the person. I think the reason I think online dating is better is because first of all, you get to put your like your social activities, your behavior, your personality, all that on the app first, so you can definitely read other people's bios and decide like if it's something if it's someone you'd even be interested or have any kind of conversation with. Besides pictures and catfish, I'm not even gonna go into that because that will always come to light. I'm talking about a relationship where you've checked each other out, like in the bio, you started talking, and that's what I also like about it. You don't have to meet the person if you don't want to yet. You can talk with them first, like text them through the app, or I get their numbers, and you can even call them too before you actually meet them, just to kind of know who they are first. I think sometimes when you meet people in real life at first, you don't really get to know you don't really connect over anything except for like the fact that maybe you've been together, you've gone to school together. Sometimes when you meet people in real life, usually through school or work, you never really know if you have anything in common with them. You probably just kind of like confuse yourself into thinking that you like this person because you're around them so much all the time, and you kind of feel compelled by other people telling you guys, oh, you guys should date, we ship you guys, stuff like that. But usually when you're online dating, nobody else really knows what's going on except for if you tell them. But usually it's based off just like paper and maybe pictures, obviously, but most times it's based off like connecting over things you really are same page as. Girls can ask guys out. It's 2020. I don't even want to talk about this one too much, but girls, it's okay, you can ask guys out. Like, it's about time men stop getting rejected by girls, so we can also have compassion for each other, because I see so many girls who are so fast to ghost and reject guys, and I don't even want to get into that because it is 2020. We should be able to go both ways and just, you know, put ourselves out there too. If you like a guy, don't not shoot your shot because it's not the other way around, because you're a girl. Don't do that. Dating to marriage can be toxic. Hear me out. Why I say this is because if you go in with the mindset that this person is the person I must marry, you can kind of force things to go your way, or to go the way you intended to be. And you also tend to reduce your standards sometimes. Be like, I'm just gonna be okay with this because I want this to work so bad. And like I said before, your potential bae could be somewhere else, but because you're trying so hard to make person A bend and twist, and yes, you can change your partner. You can change your partner's lifestyle in certain ways, but you can't completely change who they are as a person. And if a twig is trying to be a leaf, it's never gonna happen. So don't try to make a twig into a leaf. Rather go find a leaf, because there are 100 leaves everywhere else. I don't know if that was a good analogy, but basically going into that mentality that you're going to change someone sometimes just so that you can marry them can be toxic. It's not always toxic. Obviously, I don't want to just waste my time dating someone if I don't have the mindset of marriage, but just don't put that pressure yet, because that pressure could break it before anything could happen. You know what I mean? So that's my say on that. Your relationship isn't any less valid if you don't go on vacation, if you don't stunt on the gram. I feel like a lot of people put that pressure on themselves to go out all the time, to go to all these exotic, cute couples place. You don't have to travel with your partner 3 months in just to prove to everyone that you guys are a actual couple. Your relationship is as valid as you guys make it. You don't need to get approval from anyone else. Your relationship is as valid as you make it. If you don't want to post on social media, you don't have to. If you don't want to travel and post that, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything crazy to be a verified couple. Anyway, I'm kind of done with this video. The single life is key. That's just all I'm gonna say. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but I think these are just a few of my unpopular opinions, and I just want to see everyone in happy, healthy relationships, you know? No more toxic relationships 2020. We cut them all out. And if you have any other unpopular opinions you want to put down below, put them in the comments. I'm trying to get this video to 100 views, so please share, repost, like, all that. And tell me what y'all want to see. in my upcoming videos. If you want me to do any more unpopular opinions, tell me what edition you'd like me to go into, whether it be school edition, any of that stuff, and I will gladly do it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and give your girl a shout out on your page, in your Instagram page, if you know, if you're in the mood to do so. I'm not gonna beg. But yeah, bye, it's been real. See you with the next video.